the principle of MAAT that we are going to examine is the respect for other people's property. And here we're not just talking about tangible physical property, goods. We're also talking about intellectual property, emotional property, spiritual property, and all kind of property all the way in between. So here the principle is calling us to be a little bit more careful in terms of how we treat the property of other people, how we perceive the property of other people, and how much care and respect we show the people who entrusted those properties into our care, into our custody, or just in our presence and in our vicinity. I think it says a lot how you care for the property of others, especially, for example, when you are somebody who adds value to the property of others. Let's say somebody lends you their car for the weekend or for a week. And not only do you take good care of the car and you fill up the tank before you return it, but you also take the time to wash the car after the week that you use it. That's how you add value to a property that was given to you, because you're returning it in a better state than when it was given to you. That's how you add value. The average person will say, well, it was just for a weekend, or it was just for a week, I don't have to do it. But some of us will go the extra hand. Some of us will want to show their appreciation. And one example, one way to do that is simply to wash the car, to return it even in an even better state than when it was provided to them. And of course, here I'm talking about properties and goods in between people who know each other. But it also goes the same way for a complete stranger that lends you their property. It's about respect. It's about accepting the responsibility that comes with that. It's about also recognizing that this person entrusted you, meaning this person placed their trust in you, gave you an amount of trust with their property. And with that trust comes some responsibility. The first responsibility, of course, is not to cause any damage to that good. The second responsibility that comes with it is to care for that good, to maintain it. And of course, the optional one that's even at a higher stake is to add value to that property. And I think it's easier to see when you have a tangible good, like a car. But it is also applicable to intangible goods, intangible properties. For example, ideas. Someone comes to you with a very good idea that they come up on their own and share that with you in all confidence. So the naysayer will try to drag this idea down. The naysayer may also try to destroy this idea. But somebody who's taking and implementing the principle of respecting and honoring the property of others will see what value they can bring to that idea, what additional things they can bring or point out to the person, what constructive criticism they can provide to make that idea better. Now, going to the left and going all the way out would be to steal someone else's idea. And we all have, the different spectrum, the different perspective or opinion about whether someone can steal someone else's idea or not. But it is, and I think most of us will agree that it is immoral to do so. Come up with your own idea. And I think also what it does show, however, is that your inability to create your own intellectual property, your inability to create your own ideas, to create your own project and have your own goods, whether tangible or intangible. And that shows an important shortcoming. Stealing the property of others is not going to lead you much further. Matter of fact, it may also prompt you to be constantly looking out for other people trying to steal your own ideas. As you sow, you will reap. So, because this principle is calling us to have the respect to other people's property, we do know that when you add value, when you care for other people's property, they give it back to you. Sometimes in a tangible form by providing you with a monetary reward, monetary compensation, but more and most important, they will provide you with respect. They will provide you with recognition. And those two, respect and recognition, are very important because that is a foundation that will enable you to have, resources and capital, human capital as well as financial capital. So by providing that little respect towards others' property, you are actually working on your own self and opening you up to receive more. Because as you are seen to be able to take care of others, others will also take care of you. First of all, if someone is already lending you their property, that means they have already some trust in you. And therefore, the care that you will provide and the value that you will add will build up that trust. So, it is a foundational principle. You can remember way back when you were a child, when you used to borrow a toy. And you can see that because children at the playground or elsewhere are usually really inclined to borrow and lend their toys. And this is a great example on how you start learning about how to care for other people's property. Now that we've talked a little bit about tangible property and goods, and we discussed a little bit about services and idea and intellectual property, we'll talk more now in terms of relationships. Because relationships can be seen as property. Relationships can be seen as spiritual or emotional or even sometimes energetical property. So in this case, it will be, when you see other people together enjoying themselves, whether it is a couple, whether they are friends, good friends, it is not your place to destroy that. It is not your place. This principle of showing respect to other people's property, whether it is an idea, whether it is a relationship, an intangible good, an intangible property, that relationship between two people belongs to them. Therefore, the principle is asking you to respect that relationship, meaning that you shouldn't be taunting the relationship or trying to divide the two people by making up scams or tricking or trickery and things of that nature. To be even more forthcoming, doing so will only show your own shortcomings, because it will demonstrate your inability to create such relationship of your own, for your own. It will demonstrate your inability to blend yourself or integrate into those relationships. It will also show your inability to respect the relationship that others manage to build, the energy they put into it. Sometimes people are together for a long time, a long-lasting friendship because they trust each other and they're building that for years and years. And your inclination to divide them or to break them apart may simply show your lack of self-worth and self-love, because if you had both of them, you will have similar relationship of your own and you wouldn't be concerned of breaking up other people's relationships, whether it is friendships, co-workers, or even romantic relationships. So this principle, as all of the other principles of the MAAT, are always asking you to look at yourself, to look within yourself, and to evaluate and assess. Who are you? Do you have the ability to show respect for other people's property? If not, are you willing to work on that? Are you willing to expand your ability to build, to expand your ability to create, to expand your ability to provide value to the life, the property, tangible or intellectual, of people around you and people you meet and people who interact with you? It is a wonderful, wonderful invitation for you to exert that capacity, to take on that additional responsibility that is yours to begin with, and also to enjoy the fruit of doing so. Showing respect to other people's property, tangible or intangible, adding value to other people's property will certainly end up with you having more rewarded. First of all, an intrinsic reward for realizing your capability in terms of building up others as you build yourself. But also the other physical, sometimes even monetary reward that will come with that. that will come with the acknowledgement from others and yourself of your self-worth, of your contribution to the world, and of your capacity to build. So take it as another invitation. Go within, look, and the next time someone lends you something, think about not just how you're going to take care of that good, but how you can bring value to it.